Assalamu alaikum and hello. This is Haji Ahmed Nazmi bin Haji Narul Anwar, student ID 18B1082. Today, my groupmates and I will be discussing the question beyond the assumptions that entrepreneurs are high risk takers, impromptu, and thinking outside the box. There are theories related to entrepreneurship that support this notion. What are those theories and why are they important? Apply this understanding to the concept of mindset and sustainability in entrepreneurship education and cite an example in the real world where it is applied. To begin with, I will explain the meaning of an entrepreneur. Knight stated entrepreneurs are confident individuals who act on their judgment in times of uncertainty. Schumpeter, on the other hand, defines them as innovators who introduced new products, and Kisner sees them as people who recognize this opportunity but have little to no interest in building organizations. Therefore, we can define that an entrepreneur is someone who determines the need of a society and develop their innovative idea to turn it into reality whilst bearing the risks. Key characteristics of an entrepreneur. Theories have been conducted and assumed that entrepreneurs have characteristics such as being high risk takers, spontaneous, and having an unorthodox thinking. The first key characteristics that I'll be talking about is high risk taking. The idea of high risk taking is that entrepreneurs see opportunities that others fail to see or act upon and will jump into them. As most definitions of entrepreneur emphasizes the risk propensity of the individuals. To expand on this, the first formal theory regarding the risk taking was done by Cantillon in 1755, who described entrepreneurs as the self-employed, who adjust themselves to the risk where the risk is uncertain. This is agreed by De Ambrose and Maldoni in 1988, as they, the entrepreneurs, are considered to be attracted to risky ventures that promises above average profits. Emphasizing that most definitions of entrepreneur emphasizes the risk propensity of the individuals, entrepreneurs are usually described as risk takers who attempt to achieve fast enterprise growth and above average profits, as stated by De Ambrose and Maldoni in 1988. To understand this further, cognitive theory provides a plausible explanation towards entrepreneurial and non-entrepreneurial behavior. Cognitive theory provides a plausible explanation towards entrepreneurial and non-entrepreneurial behavior. With cognitive theory, we averred that entrepreneurs may not actually prefer to take risks, rather, they simply tend to associate business situations with cognitive categories that suggest more favorable attributes. Today, entrepreneurs are more likely to see the business world through a rose-colored glasses. This optimistic outlook has been documented in previous research, which are necessary to support the theory of entrepreneurial perceptions outlined previously. Firstly, entrepreneurs must not report any greater risk propensity than their non-entrepreneurial counterparts. Secondly, they must generally associate business situations with more positive cognitive structure. At the same time, studies suggest that entrepreneurs tend to derive more optimistic perceptions, as mentioned before, as opposed to others when presented with an identical business scenario. When an entrepreneur pursues an activity that will be ignored or neglected by a non-entrepreneur, this may be due to the entrepreneur's perception of a positive outcome rather than to differences in predisposition toward risks.
I am Taysin Lin of the student ID 18B 1070. One of the theories which supports the assumption of entrepreneurs having the three traits is the triarchic theory of intelligence. This theory was proposed by Robert J. Sternberg in 1985. He believed that intelligence is not fixed and it can be learned and developed. This supports the theory of growth mindset by Carol Dweck. In this theory, he put forth three kinds of abilities. They are synthetic, analytic, and practical ability. Synthetic ability means creative thinking, whereby a person is able to come up with novel ideas to create new ways, solve problems, and adapt to a new environment. For analytic ability is the critical thinking ability, such as identifying implications of a certain idea. The last part is the practical ability. This is the intellectual skills used to interact and behave successfully with the surroundings or environment or in the everyday world. This involves the application of intellectual skills in communication and persuasion. Next, I will highlight the importance of each abilities and how it is linked with the traits of an entrepreneur. One of the importance of having synthetic ability is that a person can deal with a problem which has never been encountered before by generating new ideas. This also involves the element of being risk taking because it is a new type of problem and is presented with a new type of solution. This also links to the next advantage, whereby a person can quickly solve a problem. Another importance is that it can lead to innovation. This is because the creation of new ideas, which may not be generally regarded as conventional and is beyond the abilities of what a normal person can come up with spontaneously. This kind of idea is what we call as thinking outside the box, which is one of the important characteristics of an entrepreneur. In relation to the previous statement, when any opportunity approaches, the entrepreneur can think of ideas to exploit the opportunity immediately and successfully, as this includes the trait of being impromptu as well, whereby it is an unplanned decision to exploit the newly emerged opportunity. This statement is supported by Baron et al., where he mentioned that creativity do contribute to opportunity identification. The next importance is the analytical ability. As this intelligence is about the skills in analyzing, this means that the person will be able to identify the feasibility and the value of the idea. Tang et al. Found that the cognitive aspects of evaluating ideas were positively related to entrepreneurs' innovativeness with respect to new products or services. Risks can be calculated as well, and they significantly benefit the entrepreneurs when making decisions. Lastly, analytical ability makes it possible to present a solution to a problem, which is also related to synthetic ability. For the last ability is practical ability. This ability is particularly used in convincing and persuading the audience by making an idea enticing. Having this ability also allows the person to adapt in any environment or situation. This is related to flexibility, hence, it promotes an attitude of openness. As the person is willing to accept criticism of their idea or decision or action, it will mean that the person will persevere and be resistant when encountering any challenges or rejection. When a person pushes their way out of nonconformity, it also requires them to take risk, which is essentially one of the characteristics of an entrepreneur. In essence, all of these three abilities must be used together. A person who only possesses synthetic ability may only be able to generate novel and innovative ideas but is unable to sell the idea to the market. Whereas a person who only has analytic ability may be able to evaluate and critique others' idea, but may not be able to generate authentic and creative ideas himself. A person who only has practical ability may make him a good salesperson, but is likely to sell ideas of little value rather than selling a genuinely creative idea. In conclusion, this theory put forth regarding the three essential abilities that one can possess, and the utilization of these three altogether in balance leads to the achievement of desired results in life. According to the theory, it is clear that the abilities and the traits which follow, such as risk-taking, impromptu, and thinking outside the box, are the underlying characteristics of a person with successful intelligence. In terms of entrepreneurship, These three abilities, when used in balance, is what makes a person a successful entrepreneur.
Hello, my name is Awangko Muhammad Firdaus, and my ID number is 18B1015. And today, I'm going to talk about contingency, which is one of the fundamentals of entrepreneur's trait. According to Moorman and Miner, in organizations, improvisation is the spontaneous convergence of design and execution while producing something novel. In other words, contingency is when an entrepreneur reacts swiftly when problem arises. For example, when a manager faces with problems regarding internal organization, he or she has to think fast and also forced to think of alternative situation. At that time, he or she has made the solution for the decision. According to the research, improvisation is neither good or bad and brings positive and negative results. Contingency theory of leadership. Contingency theory of leadership says that a leader effectiveness is contingent upon with how his or her leadership style matches to the situation. The goal is to match the leader's style with a compatible situation. Why is it important? Contingency or impromptu traits makes an entrepreneur a highly reliable and flexible leader. How does it relate to entrepreneurship? An entrepreneur usually faces with dynamism of situation, whether it is external, such as competitions, or internal, such as sudden crises within the organization. An impromptu or improvisational traits plays major role during this crisis. An example to this is the Harlan Sanders, which is the owner of the KFC. He started the company during the 1930s, and there are several challenges that he faced during that time. Such challenges include he started the company when the Great Depression of America is facing. So when he heard the rumors about the interstate highway bypassing his house, he auctioned his operation and began franchising. He was confident with the quality of his fried chicken and started traveling from town to town, franchising his recipe. Corazon, Sorrenti, and Vera Stout. Vera and Corazon stated, improvisation may be highly innovative or chaotic. Improvisation may solve a problem or worsen it. Argument of Vera and Crossan stated that effectiveness of improvisational in accordance with quality of improviser and the circumstances that they are in. Optimism is key dispositional characteristic, and that dynamism is a key environmental variable. Optimism is crucial in making impromptu decisions. This is because when a person is optimistic about his decision, he or she does not hesitate. Rather, he or she is confident with their decision, is optimistic. Dynamism is assessed as an environmental variable because this factor, perhaps more than any other industry characteristic, holds important implication for the effectiveness of improvisation. in the strategic decision making process. From a contingency theoretical perspective, these two variables should have a particularly strong impact on the effectiveness of entrepreneurs' improvisational behavior.
Assalamualaikum and hi. This is Muhammad Shahrizal bin Hajimot Hussaini, the student ID of 18B1084. I will be discussing about the part of thinking outside of the box. To our understanding, thinking outside of the box is to be creative and to be innovative. I will be talking about innovation theory to support the assumption of the notion mentioned by my group member Nazmi earlier on. Now, the innovation theory was made by Joseph Schumpeter in 1939. He came up with the theory saying individuals control the economy because they're responsible for delivering innovations and technological change. A journal article that I covered further expanded the definition and made a study that can support the notion. The journal article relates entrepreneurial innovativeness to personality. It was believed that the two are the key into adopting innovations. So in the article, it covers innovativeness, which are divided into two. The first one is general innovativeness, which is the degree to openness to newness. And the second one is specific innovativeness, which is the inclination to be among the first to adopt innovations in a specific area. Studies were made to support the assumptions that entrepreneurs are thinking outside of the box or being innovative. So, in this article, studies were made to the understanding of SME entrepreneurs' intentions towards innovation. More often than not, Schumpeter's innovation theory becomes the reference in research literature regarding this aspect. In the theory, it concludes that there is an existence of a strong link between innovation and entrepreneurial activity and portrays entrepreneurs as innovators or as a catalyst of change who continuously do things that have not been done before and does not fit established patterns. This approach matches the traditional analysis of human capital that focuses upon education and experience of individuals in terms of productive skills, capabilities, and knowledge in both technical and managerial. So the study relates innovativeness to basic personality traits assessed through the five-factor models of human personality. Entrepreneur's personality in terms of innovativeness is one of the key components of a human character that can be related to more general traits of the decision maker's personality. A widely accepted personality description model in the field of social psychology is the five-factor model. The factors are first, agreeableness, which is the orientation towards compassion and caring about others. Second is the conscientiousness, which is the preference for goal oriented activity. Third is the introversion and extroversion, which is a subjective inclination towards social interaction activity. Fourth is the openness to experience, which is the degree of tolerance for new ideas or new ways of doing things. And fifth is the neuroticism, or emotional stability, which is subjective to ability or inability to respond to external stimuli while keeping emotions and impulses under control. According to Goldsmith, in the 1984 and 1987, but these are the personality traits that dictate innovativeness. Researchers have been paying close attention on internal factors that leads to innovative behaviors or thinking outside of the box, which we could learn the traits that's needed and use it to its full potential. These factors are associated to the attributes of the innovative individuals and can be viewed as a psychological development of human capital existing in an organization, which refers to stock experience, skills, knowledge accumulated by individuals over time. More often than not, innovation related research has consistently shown that being entrepreneurial is the main attitude and the attributes and driver to innovation. Not only that, by understanding the theory and applying it to the core value of an individual will benefit them in the long run. Where can this mindset be derived from? These factors have been recently associated with different research areas such as the establishment and the success of new ventures, industry-university relationships, and the role of incubators, etc., as a training for individuals to adapt to the innovative mindset of being entrepreneurial. How can it be implemented? By having the mindset of being innovative and thinking outside of the box, an individual will reach to a broader spectrum of capabilities and skills. It allows growth in an individual and also impacts the societal environment. As an example, a person who's working as a civil officer in the government, as we know, the procedures of doing things in the government is systematically established. But with an entrepreneurial mind, the individuals will try to engage with an innovative way of doing things or think outside of the box to produce the same result faster and more efficient.
I am Elisha May binti Dr. Yabit, 18B 1011. Based on the theories mentioned, we are now going to apply our understanding of the concept of mindset and sustainability in entrepreneurship education. The term entrepreneurship education refers to the development of independent ideas and the acquisition of the respective skills and abilities that are necessary to implement these ideas. Entrepreneurship education promotes an experimental process of inquisitive learning in close correlation between theory and practice, combined with creativity and teamwork. It touches upon critical and communicative learning as well as learning by debating. Critical and communicative learning focuses on the development of respectful relationships with other people that facilitates cooperation and fosters joint creativity, whereas learning by debating offers insight into the diversity of positions and interests with regards to questions of society. This method aims to enhance students' argumentative skills and promote basic values. Entrepreneurs are important as they keep our economy and society vibrant by implementing new ideas, which is why our society needs people with entrepreneurship competencies. Entrepreneurship education can trigger and support this process. A common goal of entrepreneurship education is to strengthen entrepreneurs with value orientation for a sustainable society. The nature of their value oriented education and their willingness to participate is shaped by today's learning. According to Gautam and Singh, an entrepreneur is referring to an individual with the ability to turn ideas into action, are creative, innovative, and are risk takers, as well as having the ability to plan and manage projects in order to achieve objectives. With regards to this statement, entrepreneurship education teaches its students how to apply their knowledge, attitude, skills, and competencies in order to become independent business owners in the future. The entrepreneurship education helps students by creating and nurturing a learning environment to help them achieve entrepreneurial traits and behaviors such as becoming creative, independent thinkers, learning to be risk takers, assume responsibilities, and value diversity. It focuses on the creation of an entrepreneurial culture. The education seeks to help any potential entrepreneurs to be able to identify and pursue opportunities. In conclusion, entrepreneurship education is important as it is the key figure to help possible future entrepreneurs realize that having an entrepreneurial mindset, such as innovation and risk taking, can lead to a sustainable economic future.
Finally, our group has decided to use UED Entrepreneurship Village as an example in real life entrepreneurship education. The reason why we chose this platform is that it has all the necessary tools to train individuals and develop the skills needed to be entrepreneurial. The importance of an entrepreneurship education. First, it aims to create and support high growth entrepreneurs, drive job creation and economic growth in the country. Secondly, it is created to accommodate with the Brunei Darussalam's vision of 2035. And thirdly, it is established to provide programs that support the National Entrepreneurship Agenda, which is the NEA, under the Ministry of Education. So the EV Entrepreneurship Village was created to support NEA. It consists of three main components. First, it relates the core education to entrepreneurship education, which involves programs such as successful weekends to teach entrepreneurial skills to the public, strategic thinking, creative problem solving, teamwork, and communication. Secondly, it relates to higher education to curricular development by providing courses and workshops in EV. And lastly, they provide public outreach programs such as incubation to reach out to the general public. Thank you very much. That's all from us today.